want to start off with a disclaimer because I can't seem to find a space to record with no background sounds, with no sounds in the background. So I'm just apologizing up front if you hear cars driving by, people walking up the stairs, because I cannot find a place with without noise pollution. And another thing, if you happen to hear me breathing or anything like that or coughing, I'm just gonna keep it moving because I don't have time to be editing anymore and I just need to get the fuck out what I need to say. So, with that being said, it has come to my attention that I am to address some things that I've been seeing. And the things that I have been seeing is in regards to children. And they've been very disturbing. And I can't fathom why no one else is seeing this or speaking up on this. So I guess it's my turn. So the first thing that I want to address that I have been seeing is the practice of overdressing little girls. And when I say overdressing, I mean inappropriately dressing little girls. These crop tops on little girls are not okay. With their stomach showing like this, it's not okay. What do you call that? Bunching up her shirt in front of her. Like, this is like what do you call this? Like when you have that front knot to make your shirt into a crop, where you like squeeze it. I don't know how to explain it, but showing your baby girl's stomach is not okay. Her having this big of a fucking gap in her jeans ripped like this is not fucking okay. I don't know what makes y'all think that this shit is cute, but I can tell you right fucking now, this shit is not cute. And then, like, how she has her hip cock like this, that ain't cute either. Having her lips pursed out like this with the hip cock, that is not okay. Most of the girls that I see that are dressed like this, I can guarantee you are hyped up day in and day out about how cute they are, about how good they look, about how cute their outfit is. And all of this attention and compliments that these little girls are getting at this early of an age, I am telling you, it can lead to a premature, I know it does. It does lead to a premature obsession with self-image. These babies are young, and I'm talking like these little girls look to be about 3, 4, 5. Yeah, around like that toddler, early kindergarten, pre-K age. And at this age, they are not aware of fashion trends and what is cute to wear and what hairstyles are in, what makeup trends and all this other bullshit that adults got to deal with. They don't know about this shit. They don't know and they don't give a fuck. All these kids care about is waking up every day and finding another reason to love life. That's it. What y'all putting on y'all little girls is not okay. Grown woman clothes do not belong on little girls. Number 2, the second thing I want to address is the continuation of a practice that originated from a time where our people were degraded. And that is spanking. Why the fuck are y'all still doing this? There is no justification for using violence on a child at that to discipline them. Y'all parents are the ones that need to learn discipline. At least in terms of being patient with y'all kids. Y'all so fucking quick to get a switch and raise y'all hands and voices rather than acting like an intelligent fucking adult and have a simple conversation with your kid about what they did wrong, why it was wrong, and what is the better choice for them to make next time. Oh, wait, but you can't do that. You can't do that because you don't even fucking understand the psychology of child development. And you know what that tells me? It tells me that you don't even know your own fucking self. I have literally spent my damn near whole entire life staring at children. They're the greatest tool for knowledge of the self. The fact that we are still spanking our kids tells me that there are living adults who do not know who they truly are. This is because this practice originated from a time when our people were degraded. Spanking is a generational curse. And it is part of the reason why America and their pigs think it's okay to use violence to discipline us under the law of the United States of America. Stop doing this. Stop doing this. The third thing I am to discuss and address to you all is the lack of connection that children have with nature. I say this because Mother Earth is very sad. And I know she is sad because I can hear her calling to children and she's being ignored. We live in a time now where kids have more access to technology than ever before. And it is this increase in technology that has caused the decrease in connection to the outside natural world with children. Now, I want to tell you guys a story. I'm being called to tell you guys a story about an experience I had with a younger cousin of mine. I have been in this child's life since his birth. So I am very aware of his lifelong struggle with allergies. One day, he came over to my house and I noticed that he was extremely congested. Like I would hear him breathe and he just sounded so congested with full of mucus in his throat and his mouth. He didn't look sick, but he just sounded congested. And I believe this was in the fall. So I know like there's fall allergies, but this boy has been battling with allergies his whole life. But anyways, yeah, I noticed he sounded very congested. And I decided for us to go outside and take a walk because the best thing you can do when your vibration is like at the point where your immune system is low, and obviously I knew his immune system was low because he was congested and I could hear the mucus. So we took a walk outside, walked down the sidewalk, and we stumbled upon a tree. This tree has been in front of my house for years, and I never really looked at this tree. But for some reason, I saw a face on this tree. So I walked, me and my little cousin, over to the tree. And I felt like it wanted me to open up the space for this child to commune with this tree. So I took out the vial of blessed water that I made, and I gave it to this child, my little cousin. And I told him, pour this water, this blessed water, on the roots of this tree, and you too will be blessed. He opens the vial, he pours the water on the tree. I tell him to thank the tree for giving us oxygen to breathe day and night. He repeats my words. I tell him to hug the tree. He hugs the tree and gives it gratitude for just being a tree. We walk away from this tree back towards my house. When I hear this child, my little cousin, who just blessed and thanked, the tree he hugged, have the loudest, strongest sneeze I have ever heard a child sneeze, and all of his congestion was gone. There is not, there's no coincidence that these kids are, that kids today, majority of kids today now are being born or developing allergies. It is because of the great distance there is between children and nature. You can't even send food to school with your kid anymore because everybody and their mama got allergies. If it ain't one thing, it's another with these kids. There's a reason why for it. There's a reason why more children are being diagnosed with ADD and ADHD. Do you know why? It is because of the lack of connection with Mother Nature. I have a message to all you parents who may be listening to this. This is a loving message from Mother Earth, Mother Gaia. In regards to your children, there needs to be less tech time and more tree time. Period. The last thing, last but not least, that I want to discuss is what I have been seeing with crying children. And it's so funny because I always notice these kids crying for a reason other than what the parent or adult around them believes them to be crying about. I see that these kids are crying from overstimulation. I see it happening mostly in public and environments with large crowds or lots of people or just a lot of heavy energy around them. I saw it. I've had these experiences where I saw children crying from overstimulation at a gathering for the death of someone, as well as the grocery store. And I want to tell you guys the story about the little girl I saw at the grocery store. Now, I was standing in line at checkout, at the self-checkout, and there was a family in the row next to me, a mother, a father, and a child. They pull up into the aisle, and their daughter starts crying. And she's looking everywhere around her, just crying, just looking from one place to the next, crying, just a whining cry. Not just she was just whiny. It was whiny. And while her mother was ringing up the groceries, that's when she started crying. And so the father that was standing there, he proceeded to grab every bag of chips, candy, and junk to give to his child to entice her to stop crying. He was like, "You want some candy? You want some candy? Here, do you want some goldfish? Here, do you want these chips? Do you want these pretzels?" No, she doesn't fucking want that. No, she doesn't fucking want that. She's crying because she's overstimulated. She's crying because she needs a fucking aura cleanse. Like, y'all don't even try to understand why y'all kids are crying. Y'all literally just stuff their faces with food, which, by the way, creates an unhealthy reinforcement to ignore and suppress the emotions instead of verbally expressing them in order to release their emotional charge. I need y'all to understand that these children who have been coming in are more powerful than y'all know. These children are incredibly sensitive to what is happening on this planet. Each new generation, what are we on? Z? Well, we need a new alphabet at this point. Because each new generation that comes in, the veil gets thinner and thinner. Meaning their bodies are picking up on subtle energies more than ever before, more than they ever have. More than the indigo children that were born in the 60s and the 70s. These kids are the rainbow children. I have another story to tell y'all. And this story is about an experience I had with another younger cousin of mine who I know was brought into my life for me to tell you this story right now. I had a little girl, my little cousin, at my house with me. Now, any child that walks into my house and sets foot in my room will end up leaving that room and that house having touched a crystal. Some type of crystal. I have them planted all over my room. Now, my little cousin, she was 1.5, probably 1. I would say she was not talking. That's how old she was. She was not talking. She goes over to my box with all my crystals that I have in it. And I have it sitting kind of low to the ground just because I'm always grabbing it while I'm sitting on the ground, like grabbing crystals while I'm sitting on the ground. But that's besides the point. The point is that she noticed my box of crystals, went over to look and see what was inside of them, and she grabbed a bunch of crystals. The crystals that she chose was a quartz crystal. Now, as she was doing this, I was playing around with my tarot cards, and I wasn't really paying that much attention to her. But she walked over to my mirror, and then she walked back to me, and something told me to look up and check on her and see what she was doing. And she had that quartz crystal on her third eye. She was holding that crystal on her third eye. She's not talking at this point. I've never told her, I've never shown her to put it there. And I did not tell her to do that. And she did that all on her own. I say that, I give you that story and all of these things that I have told you so far because our kids must be taught to remember who they are. Why, you say? Because the melanated children incarnating today are our ancestors. If we do not acknowledge this, they will always win.